Welcome back to Everything Goes with your host T and K, and we have a lot to talk about. We've been away for a while, but it was on personal issues that we'll get into. But welcome back and enjoy that beat that's about to drop.
Been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
So typically we try and get at least 2 podcasts in a week, but we were dealing with personal problems with our dog, possibility of putting him down, but everything ended up working out, and it was just a great situation that worked out. So now we're back. And are you gonna hop in, or am I gonna talk myself over here?
Well, I'm just looking at the stats and stuff that's going on right now. Yankees, CC Sabathia's getting smacked around already. The big game for them, because if they can beat Minnesota, you have Boston and Tampa Bay beating up on each other, so you can open up some ground between them and Tampa.
What did the Yankees take 3 out of 4 against the Rays? And they got like a 10-game lead now.
They're up 9 right now since they lost yesterday.
How about Luke Voit? For any of those that didn't see, it took about a 93-mile-an-hour fastball off the chin and stayed in the game. But he did eventually score, and then they took him out of the game. But taking a 93-mile-an-hour fastball off the chin and staying in the game, that is some big balls.
Yeah, I'm just watching. Boston is hammering Tampa Bay right now, and Boston is 10 games out. So if the Yankees could win this game, they could stay 10 back on Boston, and it open up 10 for Tampa Bay as well.
I just want to let you know that the New York Yankees are now ranked number 1 in the newest power rankings, followed by the Dodgers and then the Houston Astros. Oh, look at the Athletics, number 4. Look at that. I didn't know they were doing that well.
Yeah, the Silent Assassins are sneaking back up again.
You know who's quietly doing good, too, you're hearing a lot about right now, is the San Francisco Giants. Pablo Sandoval's having a pretty decent year, too, which is crazy. They're actually looking to trade him, though, too. You know what I miss? I miss Tim Lincecum. I always looked up to Tim Lincecum. That was a great pitcher.
Well, it's going to be interesting because now the trade deadline is looming, and there's no more waiver wire for August. So this is it. This is your chance to make your team better. The Yankees definitely have to add a pitcher.
I think they came out and said that they're definitely going after a starting pitcher. And I saw today that there's 3 teams that are in on Stroman, and it's the Yankees, the Braves. I don't remember the third one, but I don't know. I know you don't want him, but I want him.
No, I'll take Stroman. I said it before. I'll take Stroman. I'm not giving up like my whole team for Stroman, especially for the team that's in our division. They're also looking at them getting Trevor Bauer, which would be a good pickup. But because Cleveland's back in that division again, I think they're only 4 games back. Well, they're only 3 games back now, so I don't know if they're going to be going nuts selling their team.
Now, the one thing that always mind boggles me is, like, if you're the Giants right now and you're slowly creeping up and doing better, like, are you still listening to Madison Bumgarner trades right now? Are you going to ride him and hopefully you can get to the playoffs?
They're 50-50. I mean, they're 16 games out. They're not going to catch the Dodgers. I mean,
but that's like another example is the Rangers. The Rangers are drawing interest for Hunter Pence from the Rays, especially.
Well, the Rangers, this last series was a huge series for them. They came out of the All-Star break and they got swept by Houston. So they fell like 13 games back now in that division. They're 6 out in the wild card, so they're now going to be sellers. They have Miners listed as one of the guys that's going to go. They're talking about shopping Hunter Pence. Who else? There's another guy too. I listened to them today talking about
might be the shortstop. But I'm shocked that they're shopping now. I mean, they're still not. There's plenty of season left.
Yeah, and that's what their coach said too. They said that there's still a chance, but I don't know.
See, if I'm the Yankees GM right now, I'm thinking my team's pretty young, and I know we have some outfielders, but sitting here as a Yankees fan, how many times do we watch the Yankees games? And we're screaming at the phone, we're screaming at the TV because either J-Hap's giving up a home run, Paxton's giving up a home run, or CeCe's giving up a home run. That's why, in my eyes, I'm pulling the trigger on a starter because Herman's pitching great. Hopefully Severino still has a chance to come back. If you can get Stroman or Bauer, and if you go after Stroman, you might even get Giles too, which is more bullpen depth for us. But
the wild card's crazy right now. I'm looking at it now. The Nationals are leading the wild card by a half a game. Milwaukee is the second team. And then the Cardinals, Philadelphia, they sit there at a half game back behind Milwaukee. Arizona Diamondbacks and San Francisco, they're only 2.5 back.
Dude,
and then it drops off. Colorado leads the way after that, and they're 5 games back. But I don't know. I mean, like if you're a GM, it's tough right now because sure you might be done in your division, but the wild card is wide. But do you want to be sellers or buyers just for one extra game to get into that wild card?
That's probably what a lot of people are thinking. I mean, you think about the Mets. The Mets are like close to wild card, but they're already like we're just going to sell. But the Phillies, speaking of the Phillies, they're eyeing Greinke. I know we talked about that. We want the Yankees to get Greinke, but the Phillies are eyeing Greinke right now. Could you imagine they got Greinke? All those big names in that team.
That would be a good pickup for whoever gets him because he is one of the best, and he's been proving himself over the years. He's resilient, he's reliable. You know, he gives you a lot of innings, and he has always had a real low sub-3 ERA. And I think now he's like 2 something as far as his ERA goes. That's a guy that I wish the Yankees would go after. I mean, he's a little older and stuff like that, but that. You know, that's a team where I would throw some pieces at if you have team control of him for a while.
I mean, you throw him in there with Nola and just their team in general. I mean, that's the type of player you need to make that last push for the playoffs because the Braves are winning. The Braves are hot still. Braves are running that division right now. I mean, the Phillies are slowly creeping back. Don't get me wrong, but
I saw a stat today that since June. Oakland is the hottest team in baseball right now.
Well, that shocked me when I saw the baseball, the what's that called? The standings, the new what the heck is the word I'm looking for?
Oakland
power rankings. There you go.
Oakland is 21-6 since the beginning of June.
Wow.
They have the best record in baseball since then, which is absolutely it's crazy, but it was expected because I think we did pick them to be strong in that division. They always start out slow and they never have a lot of big names, but here they are making their run. And they're the second wild card right now. They're only 1 game behind Cleveland for the first wild card. And they're just creeping along.
I mean, the Athletics made it to the wild card last year.
Yeah, I know.
They have a young team.
They're a tough team, too. They're a real tough team.
I personally don't know any like the pitching staff on that team because I truly do. You know what's funny is the one day we were talking about this, I didn't get to talk on the podcast, is I constantly talk about people that get released from the Yankees, how well they play. It's funny that Sonny Gray was so bad for us, and his first year off the Yankees, he made the All-Star game for the Reds. Like, that's just mind-blowing, because he sucked for us. That's all. I mean...
You know, it's funny, that whole division, that West division, it flip-flopped. Texas was sitting in second place. They were only like 4 games behind Houston before the All-Star break. Now they're 13 back. They lost 7 in a row. Houston's won 5 in a row. The Athletics, they went from second last up to second place. They're only 6.5 back now. So the cream is rising to the top.
I still think that DJ LeMahieu should win MVP. I mean, I know his home run. I mean, he's batting 3rd in the league in batting average at 333, right behind Christian Yelich. I mean, you think the NL is going to come down to Yelich and, you know, maybe Mike Trout and, who knows, Cody Bellinger, who's having an amazing year.
DJ's just having an all-around good year, and you know what? He's just solid. He's a solid defender. He's just an all-around great player. It was a great steal for the Yankees to pick him up.
And going into this offseason, I think that like you definitely have to give Luke Voigt a big contract for the way that because no one really knew what he was going to do this year because he never had he's had a few he gets a lot of home runs. Never had like that solid season. So when he had a good season last year, they didn't really expect him to do the same thing. And now that he's doing that same thing and even doing better, I mean, you got to think you give that first baseman a contract and lock him in as our next franchise first baseman. Because I'm a big Greg Bird fan, but it's not happening with Greg Bird.
I think his days are done.
And I feel bad for him because he couldn't stay away from the injuries. But
and another guy too, I think Stan. I think they're gonna find a way to get rid of him because he's another one.
What's the newest injury with him? I don't even know.
His knee.
What happened?
I guess is that the one where he slid back or slid into third base or slid into a base and hurt his knee?
I hate when someone comes back from an injury, man. And it's just like another injury hits them. Like it's like.
Well, our problem is we need pitching. We really do. I mean, Paxton got lit up again. Hap's up and down. CC's up and down. CC's either good or he's bad. I mean, Paxton for some reason, his last couple starts he just gives up runs in the first inning, and yesterday it was 7-1 in a blink of an eye. We need to get that. If we can get our pitching staff going, I think our team ERA is up over 4 now.
I mean, you think our bullpen's great?
Yeah. Yeah, and they're talking about adding pieces to the bullpen so that our pitchers only have to throw 4 innings. But I don't think
Chad Green is having. He got sent down to AAA because he was having a terrible first start of the season. Ever since then, man, he is the old Chad Green. Some games he even starts, like if they do the doubleheaders, and he's doing great for us. He's what our team really needs. I always like Chad Green. I'm hoping Betances, like I'm missing Betances right now, man. I miss him.
Well, him, Severino, they started throwing again, so they're working their way back. They're saying probably August is when we'll see Severino.
The thing with Severino is I'm already this far in the season without seeing him, and after giving him that 7-year contract, I'm at this point, like, we've gotten this far without him. I'm in no rush. I don't want him to come back and next, this little injury he has turns into something that's even more serious, and you're just like almost like an Ellsbury contract.
Yeah, but if they can bring him back, even if it's like in a relief role or something, I mean, just to get him going for the run in the playoffs, that'd be awesome. No one's really seen him since last year, so it would be good to have him. It would be another piece, and if we get a piece in the bullpen, and then we get a piece at the trade deadline, things could really turn around for the Yankees if we can shore up that pitching.
Yeah, I'm waiting for them to get that. I'm waiting to get that notification that Stroman's on the team, but
I got some interesting stats because we have talked about Major League Baseball had bought Rawlings, and they're denying that there's any changes in the balls and everything. I got some stats. Home runs are up 19% total from last year compared to last year.
That's a big stat right there.
Hitters are on a pace for more than 1,500 home runs total this year compared to 2018. 1,500 more than last year.
And you can't be like, oh, these players are just getting so good. Like, no way. Like, what'd you say, 1,500?
1,500.
What was that first stat
more.
you said?
Home runs are up 19%, and this
19%.
is just at the All-Star break. These stats are from.
I mean, look at look how many players already have 30 home runs in the first half of the season.
They're saying steals are down because of the hitting. Hitting's up, so steals are down. It's the highest walk percentage in a decade. Pitchers are not challenging hitters, pitching around them. 33 players at the All-Star break this year have 20 home runs. At the break, the record for players with 40 home runs in a season is 17. We're on pace to break that. That is nuts.
That's crazy. I mean, looking at those stats, I mean, obviously, like, the talent in this generation is a lot different, say, 5 years ago.
We've had 5 home runs or more in a game. It happened 56 times this year. 4 more times this year will break the all-time record. Christian Yelich has 31 home runs at the break. He might be the first clean player, they're saying, to pass Roger Maris's 61 home run record.
And what's crazy is when you look at Christian Yelich, it's not like he's this huge jacked guy. Like, he's like a slim guy. He's not husky, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if the balls are juiced, but like,
well,
just those stats alone, you have to think something's up.
They're saying the balls today, they have less drag, raised laces,
What
more
does
slick.
What does that mean, less drag?
I guess they travel further. Nothing to stop them from traveling.
And you said raised laces.
Raised laces.
If anything, that
more
would help.
slick,
That would help the pitchers.
and a centered pill. And Kurt Schilling came out and said, "You got these guys that are pitchers that are going to be, they're Cy Young Award winners, they're MVPs, and they're going to be future Hall of Famers. If they're noticing something has changed with the ball, you got to believe them because they handle the ball more than
all the
anyone.
time, yeah. I mean, look at Justin Verlander. How long he's been in the league? I mean, he's not." I mean, his home runs, they said his home runs are up this year, but he still has a good year. I mean, why would he, having a good year, just randomly come out and say that, yeah, these balls are juiced?
Well, this is a stat right here that's going to show you that the ball with the less drag is traveling further. 8 home runs this year have been hit at a speed less than 90 miles an hour. Balls hit with less drag travel further. Last year, only 3 home runs were hit at 90 miles an hour or less, and we already have 8 this year.
That's a crazy stat.
This is a crazy stat too. 82 home runs this year were hit. 82 home runs were hit last year, traveling over 450 or further. Already at the All-Star break, 100 home runs have gone out over that, 450 feet.
And it's kind of like if they are juicing these balls, like, it's fun to see a home run, but like, I mean, is this a bad thing? Do you think this is a bad thing?
It's bad for pitchers. 20% of all fly balls hit at 100 miles an hour or more, 100 miles an hour, 103 miles an hour is the league average. 20% of any ball hit over 100 miles an hour are home runs. It's the highest percentage ever.
And when we were doing this research when Verlander first came out with it, I saw something where they said for the home run derby, they typically do, like, mess around with the balls. But if you look at this year's home run derby specifically, I mean, look how many balls were nearly hitting the scoreboard.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
And, I mean, they're not even throwing fast. It's BP pitching.
Major League Baseball is never going to come out and say, yeah, we did change something with the balls. I guess Pete Rose was on one of the talk shows before, and he said, there's something that's different about the balls, because he's like, if you ever take a ball apart back in the 80s and 90s, when you got to the center of it, it was a cork.
Yeah.
Now it's a rubber ball that's in the center of the baseballs. It's like a rubber pill that's inside of it.
I mean, as far as I remember, because I remember going to the park and I would rip a ball off and it would take you forever. It's always been that little rubber ball as long as I know. Is that what they talk about for the cork?
Yeah, it used to be made out of a cork. Wow.
That would bounce?
Oh, my God. This guy just got a line drive ripped out his head.
Really?
Yeah. Crazy. The pitcher for Minnesota Twins, Tauchman, just ripped a line drive.
Hit him in the head?
Just missed his face.
Did it hit him in the head?
No, just missed him. I mean, literally just missed him.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's definitely something different with the ball.
I mean, just those stats you read off alone, there's something different. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? As a pitcher, it's a bad thing, obviously, because you have more of a percentage to give up a home run. For the sport, as an entertainment, I would say it's kind of a cool thing to see. I mean, you see guys hitting home runs left and right.
But it's almost like football. Football has become a passing league where you can't touch the quarterback a certain way. They want the excitement for the fans there. They want the ball. They want the long throws. So baseball, what's baseball about? It's about the home runs. It's about the big hits. Maybe they are doing it. Maybe they're doing it for that, to get ratings up. I mean, it is a rating world, Everything's based off of ratings.
What just makes me so mad, and we're going to get into something here, is I'm so sick of everybody changing sports, okay? Like, there is nothing wrong with baseball. I mean, the only thing I will agree with for a change in baseball is the nets. The nets 100% were needed because fans were getting hit. Why do we need to change how fast the pitcher throws the ball? Why do we need to change how quick why do we need to change the speed of the game? Like, a baseball is a long game. It is. It's just the nature of the game. And now we're going into... What are they in the international league? They're testing out the electronics for the umpires now, where they have an earpiece in the umpire's ear, and he doesn't even call the strikes and the balls anymore. There's a little robot that when the pitch is called, it will say strike, ball in his ear, and if it says nothing, he has to make that quick judge. So he has to technically always be on his toes. Now, this is a lot better than seeing like a robotic screen back there, obviously.
They're using the same technology that they use in tennis, where when they can decide whether a ball is in or out in tennis in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Tennis, they hit the ball over 100 miles an hour on a serve. There's no way the naked eye, especially a guy sitting in a chair, can determine whether a ball is in or out anymore.
But that's completely different than calling a strike.
It's the same thing with baseball,
Not at all.
But the problem is, Ty, is you get these umpires. I mean, you get these young umpires that come up. I mean, look at the guy that just came up the other day. He came up from the minor leagues because they were short. And Aaron Boone ripped him a new ass. And then to the point where Boone got ejected and got fined for getting in a guy's face. So now, if you have this, if you have some kind of a system where they're calling balls and strikes, no longer can they turn around and yell at the umpire at home plate.
But they're saying, though, that those computers, that they could easily make a mistake.
Absolutely. Nothing's...
So why not just have the human element in the game to have a natural mistake?
Well, they're taking it out of the umpire's hand behind home plate.
And what sucks is you're going to turn around and yell at this umpire when you know that he's not...
They're not going to. That's going to take that part out of the game. You're going to see no more coaches getting ejected for calls, balls, and strikes.
But that's so... What is so stupid about this is that's baseball. Like, I love, like, you gotta admit, it's fun to see your coach go out. How many times, like, when Joe Girardi would go out there and his vein was bulging out of his neck and his face turned red and he was arguing in front of the Boston crowd, like that's baseball. I love that.
Look, I love everything about the changes. I mean, I think it's good for baseball. I mean, it's just like driving a car. I mean, 20 years ago, you drove a car that didn't have any technology in it. Nowadays, you don't even have to drive a car anymore. There are electronic cars that drive themselves. It's called, everything's changing. Everything is changing. I mean, look they're bringing instant replay to basketball now. Now you can instant replay fouls and stuff.
I mean, am I happy that it's not like a robotic screen that's just chilling back there? Yeah.
I think it's going to speed the game up. It's going to help everything out. And just like instant replay, nobody wanted it until we got that big call, and then it changes things. It's just they want to speed the game up and they want to make changes to it for the better. So this is what they're going to try.
I don't know. I'm over it. I think that
you're going to have pros and cons with it. You're going to have guys that like it and you're going to have guys that hate it.
They asked a lot of the baseball players already what they would think about it, and a lot of them said that like it's taken the human nature out of it. C. Sabathia actually was one person that said he agrees with it. Jay Happ said he hated it.
Well, I guess it went over very well in the International League when they used it. They debuted it down there, and it went very well. So Yankees are now losing 2-1. Urshela hit another home run, who's coming up clutch lately for us. And Tauchman, he's been hitting the crap out of the ball lately. That's going to be interesting because Cameron Maben starts his rehab in Scranton this week. So it's going to be interesting to see if Tauchman stays down or if they bring Maben back up. I think the guy who's hitting...
I like Tauchman.
He's hitting the ball well now. He's batting over 240, which he's been so low all year long.
Tauchman's kind of like underrated. Like no one talks about him. He's actually playing very well this year.
Sometimes you play your best ball when no one's talking about you.
Haven't heard about Cliff Frazier in a while, but
Well, he did an interview down there, and he kind of, basically still complaining about what happened to him and everything, how he felt he was doing fine up here, and he knows he has to work on his defense, and he's been working on it every day down in the minors.
Defense is huge, man.
But we said it. We said it a long time ago. You can't make mistakes on the big screen up here. DJ LeMahieu just hit one off the wall. Tauchman's rounding second, rounding third.
DJ LeMahieu's our MVP of the year right there.
Yeah. Got second and third with one out. Yeah, DJ LeMahieu, he's batting like .334. If he holds that up, man, he's going to be freaking amazing.
I think we need to discuss... for our Phillies fans out there. Washington just passed them. Phillies are now 7.5 out of first. What do you think they need to do this trade deadline to really push them? I mean, I'll give you some stats here. I mean, Bryce Harper is batting only .258.
But their whole team, it seems like when McCutchen went down, he must have been like a big leader in that dugout or whatever, because McCutchen went down and it seems like they stopped hitting the ball. They're not playing as well as they used to. And you can't point the finger at one person. You
know what's a crazy stat? Is no one on their team is batting .300.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's getting cold. I mean, your best hitter, Cesar Hernandez, at batting .280 right now. Rhys Hoskins he's got 21 home runs, which is a lot. But, the next person is Harper with 17. You don't have the... What's kind of crazy this year is I don't know, Harper's obviously is always good. I mean, .258, it's not bad. 17 home runs, it's not bad. 29 doubles. But he's not putting up the stats like he used to put up. I mean, obviously everyone has an off year, obviously.
But Harper was never a guy with a big batting average.
No.
He was a guy that would give you 20 to 30 home runs and, maybe 100 RBIs, but he was never... And that's what I said a long time ago. Power hitters usually don't carry a big average. They'll give you a lot of home runs and a lot of RBIs, but they're going to give you a lot of Ks. Harper has 116 strikeouts already this year.
What was working out, though, for the Phillies is in the beginning of the season, you had Franco, Romuto, Hoskins, Segura. They were all almost batting .300. I mean, Franco was only batting .234 with 15 home runs. I mean, Segura, I still think, is their biggest offseason move that was the best. I mean, he's batting .273 with 10 home runs. You weren't going to get that out of J.P. Crawford or Freddie Galvis. I mean, let alone Freddie Galvis is almost batting 315 home runs this year. I don't know what happened to him. He just turned it on this year for the Blue Jays. But what really is tough for the Phillies is, Jay Bruce came over, was doing great.
And he got hurt.
It's only batting .256 right now.
He's hurt, though.
I believe so. But the Phillies, their bench, they don't really have a big name coming off the bench. I mean, last time I checked, Nick Williams was down in AAA again. I mean, you have Sean Rodriguez up there, who's a good utility player, but he's only batting .224. I mean, they don't have how we have. Who do we have on the bench on the Yankees that comes off? We have a rotation of Torres, Didi, Urshela, Estrella. We have so many people that can play.
But the Phillies are in the same pinch that the Yankees are. But the good thing about the Yankees is we have a good bullpen. The Phillies starting pitching is not doing what everyone thought it was going to be. I mean, Aaron Nola's ERA is 3, almost 4. Jake Arrieta is almost 5. Zach Eflin is almost 5 ERA. I mean, those right there are stats that are really high where they weren't expecting them to be. And they all have over 100 innings pitched already. those are your three main studs, and you're not getting the quality starts that you would like you need from them. So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Greinke is a big piece that they could get. Then I would give up. I would give up what I have to do to get
the
him.
Phillies aren't done by no means at all.
Not
I mean,
at all.
they just need that big spark, and they need help in their pitching rotation. But they're only 2 games out in the wild card, so never say never. And they're only 7.5. You can make 7.5 games up. You sweep the Braves in one series, that cuts it in half right there. So never say never.
I mean, you just gotta watch out though, 'cause the Braves are pretty good right now.
Yeah,
that's my second team, and they're rocking it right now.
But you know what's funny about baseball this year is if you look at the division leaders, most of those guys, they have it, basically the division wrapped up. It's covered. The wild card is wide open. I mean, there are so many teams that are really, really legitimately still involved in this. And I know it's only a one game. It's only a one game that they get to play. But, I mean, you look at it. The Yankees have a 9-game lead. Houston has a 6-game lead. The Braves have a 6-game lead. The Cubs and Milwaukee, they're still close. I mean, that division's really close yet. I mean, Pittsburgh's in what, 4th, and they're only 7.5 out. But the Dodgers, but everyone after that, man, it is wide open. Really. The only team that
clear your throat there. I had to clear mine.
The only team that's really out of it is the Miami Marlins. They have 36 wins. That's it.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Yankees have bases loaded now, by the way. We need this win. This win would be huge. We could push Tampa Bay 10 games back. Well, thanks to Boston helping us out. You don't say that too often. Thanks to Boston.
Let's talk some football real quick. I saw today that Tyreek Hill is not getting suspended, which is crazy.
No.
Because Zeke's that just brings up Zeke's whole thing, and it's kind of like, how does Zeke get suspended, but Tyreek Hill doesn't get suspended? Kareem Hunt gets suspended, but Tyreek Hill doesn't get suspended.
Look. I'm a Cowboys fan, and I think Zeke getting suspended, I think that had more to do with Jerry Jones than anything. I think that had to do with Jerry Jones trying to get Roger Goodell fired and all the things going on behind there. There was absolutely no evidence to convict him at all, and he shouldn't have got suspended. But Tyreek Hill has the same situation. There's no evidence at all that he abused his child. There's no evidence at all. So why should the league, if the police department and the judicial system says we're not going to go after this guy, there's nothing to prove that he did anything wrong, why should the NFL commit another
it just doesn't make
sin
sense.
and suspend a guy who didn't do it? I know Zeke's whole situation was bad. Ray Rice, he was videotaped. Kareem Hunt, he was videotaped. Drop kicking that girl in the chest. There's no evidence, so why make the same mistake again? The NFL has to turn their head and say, you know what? The law didn't find anything wrong with him, so why should we go above the law?
Yeah, I never understand that. I truly don't.
Yeah, like I said, I think that Zeke thing had more to do with Jerry Jones behind the scenes, what was going on, because Jerry Jones was doing a lot to try to get Roger Goodell out as the commissioner, and the rest of the league didn't want to go with him. So that was more of those two button heads.
I don't know if it was ESPN or Bleacher Report, but someone came out with a report today saying how the Los Angeles Chargers are going to make the Super Bowl against the Eagles, and that they're going to win the Super Bowl. And
I have that stat open. I
want to know is who made that prediction.
Well, let's go through them.
I'm not shooting down. I think personally that. So okay, well let's
just go through all of them.
Well, I mean, wait. Let's say obviously, I mean, Phillip Rivers is a good quarterback, but Melvin Gordon planned on sitting out, even though he hasn't played a full season yet.
Okay, well let's just go through this.
Go through what?
They have all the standings of where everyone's going to finish. All right, we'll start with the AFC East.
Let's just start with
AFC East. They have the New England Patriots going 11-5, winning the division. They have the Buffalo Bills in that division going 8-8. The New York Jets going 7-9, which I don't understand because they said the New York Jets had made the most improvement this year, and then you have them ranking at 7-9.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me. Hold on, something's loading. All right,
they have
go ahead.
The Miami Dolphins. Jarvis, I hope you're listening. In that division, going 3-13. Okay, AFC North. Well, let's face it. Until Tom Brady retires, no one's beating them. Let's face that.
You never know.
This is the shocking one. Okay. In the AFC North, they have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning the division at 11-5.
I'm not gonna lie, I can see the Steelers being a sleeper this year. Everyone's given the Browns the hype, but Big Ben's still there. You still have Juju Smith. You still have Connor.
They have the Cleveland Browns finishing second at 10-6.
That sounds good.
Baltimore Ravens at 8-8 for the third, and the Cincinnati Bengals at 3-13.
Honestly, that sounds like a good prediction.
I don't know. I think that
I think Pittsburgh can pull that division out. Do I think the Browns have a good team? Absolutely. 10-6 is actually a good prediction for the Cleveland Browns.
I think that division is going to be a coin flip. First of all, I think it's going to be out of those two, Cleveland and Pittsburgh. The Ravens, I think Lamar Jackson had almost 170 rushing attempts last year, which is unheard of by a quarterback. I think he's going to end up hurt. And I don't think he's a good quarterback. I never did. I don't think he can throw the ball very well. He's just a run quarterback. And
I think he can throw the ball.
He's going to end up being like RG3, getting hit, and it's going to be done.
I don't like when a quarterback runs first, overthrown. I like when you have like a Cam Newton who he can run if he has to, but he can also throw the ball like a threat.
This division here, the AFC South, just totally blew me away because they totally have no respect for Houston at all. They have the Indianapolis Colts winning the division at 10-6.
Which is what they finished at last year.
They have the Jacksonville Jaguars making a significant jump and going 10-6.
I mean, you do have Nick Foles this year.
They have the Tennessee Titans going 9-7, and they have the Houston Texans going 6-10. That's a shocker.
That is a shocker. That's actually one thing to speak of. I think if Marcus Mariota doesn't make the playoffs this year, I think that there's something needs to happen there. You need to get him some help or something.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, this is the USA Today's predictions for the football season. Now, in the AFC West, this is the only team they have ranked to win 12 games. They have the Los Angeles Chargers at 12-4, the Kansas City Chiefs at 11-5, the Oakland Raiders at 5-11, and the Denver Broncos at 4-12.
Both those teams did finish 12-4 last year, so I mean, it can happen.
Now we go to the NFC East.
I don't think the Chargers are going to beat the Chiefs, by the way.
I know. We go to the NFC East, and I don't agree with this. I mean, I know it's going to come down to either one of these two teams, but
the Eagles are going to be tough, man.
They have the Eagles winning the division at 11-5.
11. I see 10-6
They have
or 9-7.
They have them with picking up defensive tackle Malik Jackson, Deshaun Jackson, and Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders as being huge
Deshaun
pickups
Jackson
for them.
too.
Yes, and they have Dallas Goedert, Sidney Jones, Ronald Darby, and
scary lineup, man.
The biggest question is Carson Wentz going to be a Sean Lee, not finish another season? That's the biggest thing they say because they have no true good backup quarterback.
Yeah, they don't now.
They have the Dallas Cowboys, which I'm shocked going 9-7. I don't know. I mean, 9-7
it's better than finishing below 500.
I don't think it's gonna be 9-7. I'm thinking more like 10 wins, maybe 11 wins. It's like I said before. I've been saying this. The true competition in that division is gonna be the Cowboys and the Eagles, and when they play each other, it's gonna be circle the calendar because that's gonna mean a lot. And Dallas plays them the second last game of the year, so that could be a huge game coming down to the playoffs. They got the Giants improving to a 5-11. And they got the Washington Redskins going 3-13.
Everyone's sleeping on the Redskins, man. But I truly think that the Redskins are gonna have a decent year. I mean, they have a good defense.
Yeah, but their defense ain't gonna carry them. Their offense is horrible.
Dude, I mean, you have Dice coming back, who tore his ACL last year. Rookie running back, didn't even get to play. You have him coming back. You have Haskins.
You have a tight end, Jordan Reed, who can never stay healthy. He hasn't played in a full season. But just think if everyone does stay healthy, that could be a deadly The
lineup.
offensive line is ready to have a rebellion against the whole freaking coaching
That's
staff.
still my sleeper, man. That's still my sleeper this year.
And I saw a post, they fought, 44 people, not on the coaching staff, but in that organization, have quit. So that organization's a mess. There's something going on behind the scenes there, but
I'm
the
interested
NFC
to see the
North,
NFC,
I'm telling you right now, I believe this. The only thing I don't believe the Chicago Bears won. I think the Chicago Bears are going to be my team that falls off and doesn't make the playoffs. They have the Minnesota Vikings going and winning that division.
At what?
12-4. They have the Chicago Bears at 11-5, which I don't agree with.
Why? The Bears finished 12-4 last year.
I don't think so.
Great defense, great offense.
Yeah, but let me finish. Chicago Bears last year, they had 36 takeaways last year, which is unheard of. It's a very high, and it's very hard to replicate that. So they were
5-1 in the division.
You take away the half. Say they don't get the 36 takeaways. I don't think their defense is going to carry them like they did last year.
Dude, but they got Khalil Mack, they got Fuller, they got great defense.
My personal opinion, I don't think that their defense is going to replicate what they did last year. and they're not going to have 36 takeaways. I think the defense is going to fall off a little bit.
Still have a speedy offense. Allen Robinson, Gabriel.
Green Bay Packers, they have them at 9-7, and I think that is totally wrong. I think them and the Bears are going to flip-flop because Aaron Rodgers is back. He's healthy. He's got new weapons, and I think they're going to be a great team.
Also got a new coaching staff, too.
Detroit Lions, I think this is a slap in the old kisser. They got them at 3-13.
So I don't see that. Matthew Stafford's still a threat. Finished 6-10 last year. Obviously, he never has the help. That's a slap. That's a slap in the face.
It says Matt Patricia improving on his 6-10 debut. 4 of their 8 home games this year.
3-5 at home.
Come against 2018 playoff team. So, whatever. We'll see. The NFC South, you're not going to like this. They have the Atlanta Falcons winning the division at 11-5.
11-5? What's that? The Saints? Saints finished 13-3 last year.
They have the Saints going 10-6.
10-6. They added offensive help to that team.
They have the Carolina Panthers at 8-8, and they have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-11.
My biggest thing is I do see Atlanta being good because their defense is going to be healthy now. But the Saints, their offense 13-3 last year got even better. You added Jared Cook and more offensive line help. How do you lose 3 games now?
This is what he wrote. He goes, can the veteran group overcome consecutive playoff heartbreaks to take the Super Bowl step now? They'll have to navigate challenging lineup, which begins with a Monday nighter followed by games in L.A. and Seattle. The Saints must also play in Atlanta on Thanksgiving before concluding the regular season with roads against Nashville and Charlotte.
Dude, the Saints? Okay, just get this, okay? Remember a couple of years ago when everyone would trash Saints because they couldn't even win the road? Saints were 7-1 on the road last year. 7-1. This guy needs to get a text from me.
The NFC West. This is going to blow your mind. They have the San Francisco 49ers winning the division at 10-6.
That'd be pretty cool if it happens, I'm not going to lie.
They have the Rams going 9-7. The Seahawks going 9-7, and that might change now. They just lost their best defensive player to a 6-game suspension. And they have Arizona going 3-13. You know what's funny?
What they finished last year.
You know what's funny? They got rid of Rosen. Sent him to Miami. They got a new quarterback, and they're projecting Miami to go 3-13, and they projecting Arizona to go 3-13.
Well, it's because they're probably gonna
not much of a change.
They're gonna start Fitzpatrick probably in Miami.
Here we go with the playoffs. In the wild card for the AFC, they have the Patriots defeating the Jaguars. They have the Colts defeating the Chiefs.
What?
Divisional round. They have the Patriots defeating the Steelers and the Chargers defeating the Colts. AFC Championship game.
Now, this could be a realistic one, the Chargers and Patriots. I could see it.
They have the Chargers, number 1 seed, defeating the number 3 Patriots.
Now, would it be cool to see the Chargers go to the Super Bowl? Absolutely. I mean, their team was good last year. It's a matter if what happens this year.
Okay, NFC side. I know this is going to get your little feathers ruffled up. They have in the wild card game the Eagles defeating the Saints. They have the Bears defeating the 49ers. Divisional round, they have the Eagles defeating the Falcons. And they have the Bears defeating the Vikings. NFC Championship game, they have the Eagles defeating the Bears. I don't think so.
I have no comment.
In the Super Bowl, they have the Chargers defeating the Eagles.
I have no comment. This guy needs to lose his job.
Yankees tied the game up, but now CC Sabathia has bases loaded with no outs.
Listen, I'm not hating on the Eagles. I think the Eagles do have a good team.
They do. It's going to come down to can Carson Wentz stay healthy.
I mean, what's crazy is that prediction could happen because any of those teams, I mean, I could see the Chargers being good again. I could see the Chargers beating the Patriots. I could see it. I mean, there's a lot that I could see. It's just, I mean, the Saints at 10-6, dude, come on now.
I just think that it's tough to make projections, especially with all the changes that's happened. Dallas has probably their best team they've had since the 90s. We'll see. Time will tell. It's going to happen real soon. I mean, the camps kick off this week. Thursday, Cowboys open up camp. They probably won't get into pads probably till the following Monday.
My biggest thing here is, if this guy's listening to our podcast right now, okay, you got the Saints offense, who this year, okay, for the first time since departing Jimmy Graham, have an elite tight end in Jared Cook. They drafted a first-round center. Offensive line's healthy. One of the top 5 offensive lines in the game. You have Michael Thomas. You have Ted Ginn. You have Traquan Smith. 3 speedsters with great hands. And you still have Alvin Kamara back there with Latavius Murray. And you're telling me, with that solid defense on the other side, we're going to finish that low?
It's just projections. I mean, they do have the Saints ranked number 1 for the best triplets in football for 2019.
Dude, it's going to be interesting. I've been saying, everyone, this is the year that Drew Brees will get injured because he finally has like a great offense.
But you have a good backup. You have that Hill.
They're not going to play Hill. They would play Teddy Bridgewater. Dude, I'm not going to lie. What's funny is out of all those quarterbacks, I still want JT Barrett to be my quarterback.
Oh, Gary Sanchez is hurt.
Just because I've watched him play at Ohio State. I was like, man, this guy's pretty good. Taysom Hill, though, man. One of a kind. He's a one-of-a-kind guy.
Yeah, you know what? And it's going to kick off that and college football. I cannot wait for college football to kick off. I'm so excited for Michigan football this year. You know, I heard an interesting thing about Giannis the other day, that he has a large sneaker collection. I thought yours was big. This guy has.
I think I heard this.
This guy has over 4,000 pairs of shoes in his house.
See, I could never have that many. I could have 100, but I couldn't have that many.
He's got like a storage facility in his house that he keeps these shoes. And
it's too much. How do you wear all of them?
Is it even possible? Is it even possible?
I think, honestly, though, PJ Tucker has more, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But see, like, I love my sneakers. I think the max sneakers personally that I think I could have is 100. Not even, maybe 50, if that.
I couldn't have that
because
many
I couldn't
shoes.
wear them all. Like, there's some celebrities that have closets full. When I tell you, like, garage closets full. And it's like, how do you even, like me personally, I don't like to have a shoe sitting there. I at least have to wear it once a week or once a month at least, you know?
Yeah, I couldn't have that many. I'd be so confused. And the next thing you know, you're taking forever like a woman to get ready for to go somewhere.
Giannis's middle brother, I think it is, just got picked up by. Was it the Lakers that picked him up?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
His younger brother though is gonna become in the league soon, and Giannis keeps saying how he's better than him.
Did you see that article about Nike stopping LeBron James from giving up number 23 because of all the sales that they had for his jersey?
I did. I really don't think AD's not really upset about that. I don't know personally.
I think he's gonna be number 3 now, right?
I think that's what he typically wore.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know Nike had that kind of power.
I didn't either. I didn't know that was like in your contract.
Miguel Sano's up right now, bases loaded.
Wait, why can't, like, what stops him from giving up his number because of all the jerseys they sold?
Yeah, they sold so many jerseys over last year.
I can see that. I mean, that's like a hassle. Now you have to come out with new jerseys. And let's be real, if you were a LeBron fan, you had his jersey. Now it's like, come on, man, now I got to get another jersey. I don't know. But I think the biggest news that came out was that Russell Westbrook was traded over to Houston for CP3 to be paired up with James Harden. A lot of people are saying this is going to work out. I really think this is going to work out. I really do. Just because the fact that I know that when they played together in OKC, neither one of them were MVPs. Neither one of them were scoring like they are now. Because they're both dominant, powerful people. But I think that
time will tell.
I think they're gonna play well together. They know each other. They trust each other. They can. The videos of them doing those dirty passes and alley-oop. I truly think that they're gonna be a tough. The West is tough league, a tough side though. I can tell you that. But I think that Houston's gonna be good. Yeah. CP3, I think he's probably gonna get traded though.
The Houston Rockets are the first team to. The first team in NBA history to have 2 supermax contracts on the roster at the same time.
It's a lot of money, man. Yeah. A lot of money.
Absolutely. And they're saying Chris Paul is going to be stuck. He's not going to get traded because
OKC said they're not really like they want. Obviously, they want to trade him. I think they said though that they don't mind playing him. I think the winner out of this though is if you look at OKC, like in a matter of minutes, they went from having a great team and trading everyone, but just look at all the first round picks they have. Like now you could trade
8 first round picks over the next 6 years.
You could trade you could trade CP3 now and get even more first round picks. Just keep stacking them up. I mean, I've never seen. Maybe the Sixers had that many first round picks at one point, but
yeah, we had a lot of picks, but not like that.
Not like that. No, not at all.
By the way, CC Sabathia, he's got to get moved, man. They're losing 5-2 now.
He's old, man. It's his last year.
I understand that, but you got to move him to the bullpen. I mean, you have got to get a legitimate starter in there. We have to get an ace. We need somebody in there that we can count on. Him and Paxton, man. I don't know. I would not feel comfortable going into a playoff series with those two guys pitching.
Not at all. I could not imagine turning like a playoff game on and knowing Paxton's playing or have. But I don't know.
Anyway, back to the NBA.
Kyle Korver signed with the Bucks, and it was a tough decision between the Bucks and the Sixers. They're saying the Sixers, that was a good miss. I thought that would have been a good bench player to have.
Absolutely. We don't have that shooter that we need yet. They're saying Richardson's going to be the shooter, but I don't know. We got to get that bench solidified and get.
I
and
saw
get some-
Richardson and Al Horford in their new Sixers jerseys, and it looked pretty good, man.
I think they're going to be banking on a lot of these young kids that were in the G League coming up and being on the bench and filling those spots.
I still miss McConnell, man. I can't believe we got rid of McConnell.
I'm just glad they got Ben Simmons wrapped up. So now
Yeah,
there's going to be no
big
speculation
contract,
of him
big
going
contract.
to LA next year.
What was that? 7 years, over $100 million.
$170 million. You see,
Locked
he
him
bought
up.
himself a Ferrari today.
What's funny is I remember when he was on Kevin Hart's Cold as Balls. He actually buys a lot of cars. If I had a lot of money, I couldn't just buy a lot of cars. I'd buy 2 cars. I have my truck and my nice car.
Yeah, and I don't need a house with 15 bedrooms either. I just need
No,
a house.
no.
That's it.
So I never understood that. Like, if I was rich, I don't need a house with 10 bedrooms.
First of all, I don't need 5 houses. I don't need one everywhere.
I mean, maybe I'd have like a vacation house, you know.
No, I don't even need a vacation
But like,
house.
what I would do is I'd buy like, something a little bigger than our house now
Buy a house in the
with
Dominican
property.
Republic.
No. I'd buy nothing against DR. I would buy a house with a big piece of property, and I'd hook that medium-sized house up so it's so nice. I don't need a huge mansion with 10-car garage and 10 bedrooms. I don't need to get lost in my own house.
No, and you probably won't even see half the house.
No.
There's no sense in it. Oh, wait. We're sitting here doing our podcast, and the lightning is starting to pick up. And I tell you what, that lightning storm last night was insane.
It's really hot in this room. There's no AC in this room.
The amount of lightning strikes it was like striking like every freaking second. It was crazy.
Would you say that was heat? Excuse me. Would you say that's heat lightning?
No, that was a straight up storm.
Yeah, if it's hot in here.
Well, we were talking earlier about Oakland having a chance to catch Houston. Well, you might as well kiss that goodbye. Houston is beating them 9-0. Houston has won 6 in a row now. They're on a tear.
Houston's gonna be good for a while. They locked everyone in.
That is a team that you do not want to face come the playoffs.
That's just a straight up good team, and they're all young too. You think your oldest guy's probably Altuve. He's probably like what 27, 28.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
And he's having a down year. Altuve, his stats are not where they were last year. He's
No.
barely batting .250. He's starting to get hot again, but he's been down and out, struggling for a while.
I mean, everyone's gonna have their off year. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be an MVP.
Luke Voigt just hit a home run.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and this is the thing that's helping the Yankees out. We have the offense when our pitchers struggle, but the thing is we got to stop digging holes. I mean, we just tied the game up 2-2. CC comes out and loads the bases up again, and then it ends up
As
being
a coach,
5-3.
I don't know why you don't go to the bullpen there.
Yeah, I mean,
CC typically the averages of the opposing team gets higher about the second time they face CC. So then why not pull him?
and you know what's sad? They have 5 runs on 3 freaking hits. It's because he's walking everybody. You got to be smart. I mean, I know these guys, they have egos and they don't want to be pulled early, but I'm telling you right now, I would have had that bullpen. You know me as a coach. I was not messing around.
No.
I would have fired that bullpen up right away.
Yeah, I know you would have. You would have pulled me in a quick heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely, I would have.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have been mad. I mean, obviously it's frustrating to get pulled out of the game because it's embarrassing. But if you can get your team the W, that's what's mostly important.
Yeah, but like I said before, this game is important. You want to keep Boston, you want to keep Tampa Bay behind us. As long as Boston's winning, we got to keep winning. Boston's another team. They get it all together. They start making moves at the trade deadline.
They're 11 back.
It doesn't matter. It's 11 back, but we got to play them 8 games over the next couple. I think the next 10 after this series. We play Arizona and then we play Boston.
It's sad to say, but like I almost hope we get cold a little bit. Just because most teams that go into the playoffs hot, they always end up losing.
Yeah, but we got a long way to go to the playoffs yet.
I know.
I mean, we're just out of the All-Star break. We got a long way to go. We got to stay focused, and we got to.
Twins are a good team, man. You can't forget that. The Twins are a really good team.
Well, they've lost 5 of their last 7. That's what I mean. This is a good time to play them because they've been slumping. But I wish the Yankees would bring up some of the young pitchers like Devi Garcia. Bring him up. He just got promoted to AAA. Bring him up and let him pitch a game.
Yeah, Gio Urshela is another one. He's still batting 300. I mean, when you look at Gio Urshela, you don't know if you're going to get that same year out of him next year. But you got to think Andujar's a trade package right now.
Everyone passed on him. They're saying he wasn't a good hitter. He's a great defender, but he wasn't a good hitter.
You got to think that Andujar's trade bait now.
Yes, yeah, I did. I'm looking at that article now. Lakers did claim Giannis' younger brother, Costas. And how about Tim Duncan? He's joining the Spurs as a coach.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about that. He's going to be the assistant coach to Pop.
And the Wizards offer Bradley Beal a 3-year, $111 million extension.
And did he miss like the past 2 years? Like he's barely played any games.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I'm not the coach. I'm not the GM. I don't have the money, so it's not whatever.
Did you see in that Harding? He was getting interviewed by those young kids, and the one kid told me travels.
Yeah, I did. I watched that, and he goes, "Why?" He said, "Do you see the refs calling it travel?" And the kid's like, "No." He goes, "Well, it's not travel."
It is a travel. It's a big Euro step.
It is. It really is. Hey, well, that's going to wrap it for this podcast for us because we're sitting here sweating right now because it's hot in this room. There's a storm going on. But
yeah, we had to close the window because the mics were starting to pick up the rain.
But lately, we've been thinking about in the near future, like really near, like we might be saving up for some cameras and recording ourselves as we record our voices. So, like, if you think that's a good option for us, just let us know in the comments. If you have even listened if you've listened this far in the podcast, we congratulate you because we don't know if many people do.
Yeah, we were invited to do a podcast collaboration with a bunch of people from Australia, which we're considering. It's going to be interesting. They want to talk about rugby compared to the United States football, and all the rugby stars that are starting to come over here to the United States to play football. So it's going to be interesting. See what we can work out. We got to iron out the details of how we're going to contact Russia. I mean, not Russia, Australia, because
Stop watching Stranger Things.
I'm addicted to that. I think they're like 14 hours ahead of us or something like that. Like right now, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's not bad.
No, so when we get those details ironed out, and then we'll think about doing it.
All right, guys. We'll follow us on all our platforms and everything goes. They'll be in the description below. And we hope you guys have a good one. And thank you for joining us in.